All right. All right, so we have the GMAS coming up, and after the review from yesterday, me and Miss Bowers decided we needed a review over main idea. Okay? So who can tell me what main idea is? Kyle. What's a main idea? When you're reading a story, what is a main idea? A plan? Not quite. The what, Anderson? No, think bigger. Think a little bit bigger. Thomas?
Like the main idea in a story.
Try not to use the word.
It's what the story is about.
What the story is about. Perfect. So the main idea of a story is what the story is about. What is the story mainly or mostly about, okay? So you're looking for the central idea. So when we're doing the GMAS, if something says what is the central idea of this story, if it says central idea, they mean the same thing. Main idea, all right? Central and main idea is the same thing, all right? So you're looking for the most important thing about the story. What is it mostly about, all right? Yes?
The text.
Yeah, you want to read the text to find those out, all right? Find the ideas in the paragraph or passage. The main idea is sometimes stated or it is implied, all right? A lot of times you can find that main idea, what the passage is mainly about, what the story is mainly about, within that first paragraph or that last paragraph. That is not all the time, but a lot of the times you can find it in those two things, okay? So your main idea is either going to be stated or it'll be implied. What does implied mean? Kyle? Yeah? Anybody know what implied means? Thomas?
Implied is it's like in a story.
It's in the story, but what?
It implied is
You want some help? Okay. Clues. So implied means it's not gonna say, like, if the story is about Cinderella, all right? Doesn't say that the story is about her finding her prince and happily ever after, does it, in the story? No, but you know after seeing that movie, or if you read the story, you know that's one of the main ideas of the story. It's something that is kind of tells you that it's there, but it doesn't particularly say this story is about a princess finding her prince, all right? But you know that's what one of the main ideas of it, isn't it? Okay. So how do you think we can find those main ideas? Thomas?
by reading a story.
By reading the story. What else? Quadarius? Looking in the book. Okay.
Study.
By studying. Okay, you got to study the passage. Yeah. Malaysia? She's just writing what I had on the first slide. I don't know why you're looking up there.
View.
Anderson? Looking at the pictures, that's another way you can find it. So let's look up here. So you have to figure out who and what the story is about. Read the passage. So that little pre-test we took today, you can use that highlighting tool when you are going through your GMAS and highlight. If you see somebody's name, Malaysia, turn around and look up here, please. If you see somebody's name and you think that they are important, use that highlighting tool and highlight their name, all right? In the beginning of your story, if you find the main idea, go ahead, use your highlighting tool and highlight that main idea. That will help you to answer the questions, okay? Or if you need to take, if the main idea is something that is implied, but it's not stated, use that little note tab. You can type a little note in that note tab real quick and be like, oh, this helps me to know the main idea. So type in the main idea and you can go back to that when you're answering your questions, okay? Malaysia, come over here, please. Yes.
Maybe when you think the answers are wrong, you cross them out with a cross thing.
Yeah, if you know for a fact that something is not right, go ahead and hit that X one and cross it out, all right? So you can cross out that answer and you can eliminate it. All right. So we are going to read 2 different passages together real quick. It's short. This is not long.
And I want to hear just read with
2 passages, and then we're going to figure out what the main idea is, okay? All right, so bats are known for
flying,
around at night and
sleeping,
during the
Day.
You may have seen
Pictures
of bats
sleeping
upside down in
Day.
Bats have other
Daytime.
resting places too. They sleep in
Trees.
and
Open.
even
Even under bridges.
more than 1 million bats sleep under one bridge in
Austin.
this colony or group contains about as many bats as there are people in the
City.
All right, so what do you think this passage is mainly about?
Bats.
About bats, okay. What do you think it's mainly about? Seth? Places bats sleep. That's a great answer. That they sleep during the day, okay. What do you think it is mainly about? I'll come back to you. Gabby. Bats sleeping in different places. Anderson? That they sleep in caves, okay.
That there's different places where bats sleep.
There's different places where bats sleep. All right, so I've got 2 choices here. Hands down real quick. Raise your hand if you think the passage is mostly about bats sleep in many different kinds of places during the day. Raise your hand if you think that's what the passage was mostly about. About bats sleeping in different places during the day. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 8. So everybody else thinks the passage is mainly about a huge group of bats sleep under a bridge in Austin, Texas. Who thinks that's what the passage is mostly about?
is the whole story about that
So-
one group.
Let's look. The story, is it only talk about this particular group?
No.
No. So that's why this answer is not the better answer of the 2. All right? You want to look for the best answer, because if you look back at the story, up here, we're talking about different places that they sleep. We say that they sleep in old buildings, trees, under bridges, in caves, but we only mentioned once that they sleep in Austin, Texas. So you see why it was that they sleep in different places and not just Austin, Texas? Because they talk about all of those different places. Now, if they narrowed it down and they were just talking about Austin, Texas, and if it was just, probably, if we got rid of all of this, and it was more than 1 million bats sleep under one bridge in Austin, Texas, this colony of groups contains about as many bats as there are people in the city. Now, if that was the only part of the passage, I would say, I think Ms. Bowers would agree, that that part of the passage alone is about the bats in Austin, Texas.
And there's more bats than people.
Wouldn't you agree that that part of the passage is only about, that is the main idea of this part only? But if we're talking about the whole thing, you have to look at where every place is that they're talking about. You see the difference, Kylan? Does everybody else see the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we've got one more passage. And then we're gonna play a game. Smartphones. Everybody loves smartphones, right?
I
Yes.
You know those old like fashion phones? You got the old ones that you like. Or the phones you have open. The phones you have. Cell phones are indestructible.
Just stop right there.
You have
Just
to.
stop right
Now you breathe underwater.
The old-fashioned phones, you know, the ones you have to flip over.
No phone.
All right, let's read this.
Thomas got a flip phone. Yeah, Thomas got a flip phone. I got a flip phone. Ding ding.
All right.
Ding ding. Ring ring.
Let's get back on track. Get back on track. All right, let's read the passage together, and figured out the main idea. Smartphones are phones that are used for more than calls and people count on them for getting and finding information on the internet. People also find fun listening to taking and on their phones. On the other hand, have some downsides. They can make it hard to keep your mind on important like some people even during meals or when time with their family. Driving while using a puts people in danger. Smartphones are useful, but they can cause problems because if not used safely and politely. So I don't know what some people said. I heard some say politely and I biscuits.
Now, I say screaming biscuit.
You're not
You know my teacher can hear you scream biscuits, right?
What?
I'm recording.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You a student? You're one of us.
Yes.
You're one of us.
Yes.
How you a teacher?
Yes, I have been.
How are you a teacher? But you're 22.
I wish I was still 22, but I am not still 22.
Miss Bauer's still a student. Miss Bauer's still a student.
All right, I will talk about that in just a minute. Let's finish this. All right. So in this passage, I would say that the most important, the main idea is stated. Can somebody raise your hand and point out the sentence or the phrase where they state the main idea? Kyla. So that first one, it was implied. You had to look at the other things. But this one, I would say that it's stated. It is stated. They stated. The most important or the main idea. Raise your hand if you can tell me what sentence it is. No, not right. Remember, where did I say that those, if the main idea is stated, it is most likely stated in this part or this part? Malachi?
Smartphones are useful, but they can cause problems
If not used safely and politely. Yeah. That is what this passage is mainly about. That's where it's stated. That's why I chose the two different passages. One has it implied, one has it stated. If it is stated, when looking for the main idea, look at the beginning and look at the end. Most of the time, it'll be stated in those two parts. Okay? So smartphones are useful, but they can cause problems if not used safely and politely. Does everybody agree that that's kind of the main idea of this passage?
Yes.
All right. We are going to do a quick little look at.
Can I tell them how y'all are still at school? Looking.
Not right now.
Because teachers have their money too.
All right. So go ahead, go back to your seats real quick, and open up Look It.
Biscuits.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
I interrupted. Is Malachi in there?
Which one?
Which one? We have Boston, Houston.
Houston,
Yes, ma'am.
send him up, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Clap once. You need to go to blookit.com. Go to, you can get one for mine.
And do random names. No, we're doing random names.
Biscuit sausage. I wanted because I love biscuit sausage. Or square face.
All right, your code is 578149.
Alright.
Lookit.com/play. Alicia, you need to be in your seat, please.
Rainbow ribbon. I'm not a girl.
I don't think she came today, but she's
Ma'am?
with Mr. Vincent.
Okay.
She came in a little late.
Who are you, bro? I can't eat. Thunder.
Or 9. Go ahead and press the over arrow whenever you're ready. This booklet is going to be a little bit more challenging. The one I chose gives you passages to read. Yes, you have to read the passage. It gives you passages to read, yes. You're waiting for me. Okay. I'm waiting for everybody to get there.
I'm the Jaguar. I'm the Jaguar. No, what is your Shiva me? Why is my name Darren?
That's just what they do.
Shiva me to nuts.
I'll take my students. Okay, if you're Nevaeh and Malaysia.
Go on. Two left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is everybody there? Do you got him in there?
I was not in
Alright, is anybody not there? Raise your hand. You're not there?
I'm in. I'm a Jaguar. Winter heaven. Who's the Jaguar? Me. Where? Where? I'm Dazzling. Sorry, Hammer. Story.
Miss Byers, Mr. Vincent, Miss Cope, I need Collins. Collins prepared to leave.
Yeah, you can be Kylan.
Kylie Flakes.
No, Kylie.
Oh, Kylie Collins. Okay, thank you.
I don't want to leave this early. I want to leave before we get to
Cyrus, can you help him get logged in so he can-
Jeremiah, come on back here for me.
His has to be plugged in and it's dead. Alright. What are you doing? No. Don't touch my stuff.
Who's Sky on?
Alright. Click past your line. Answer the questions to reel in your fish. Watch out when you catch some crazy things. Most total fish weigh 3 minutes. Good luck. You have to read the passages on your screen. Okay. She can still log in. That's what it's doing. Read the passage and read the questions. All of these questions are over main ideas. These will help you for the GMAT. Who's Nosebleed? There you go, Gabby. Oh, somebody got the winner frogs all over the screen. You got a what? No, it doesn't. You have to read it.
Someone's drinking. Oh, I got a goldfish.
Who's Sky Eyes? Are you Sky Eyes?
I got fishing. I got
You're
fishing.
first.
I got fishing.
Okay, keep going.
Look, there it is. That's me.
That's Alright, you guys got 30 seconds and the game's gonna shut off. If he clicks his top
I
left
got fish. Oh, I got a cat in the water.
That's a good combination. That's why I was reading it to him.
I want to play again.
So there's
No!
Stop
I want to play again. I was
Alright, we can do one more time real quick.
Can we get the chest?
But we also have a Kahoot.
Chest.
Crypto hat.
Yeah. I want the chest.
Well, maybe we'll do that later. Will just depend.
If we be good.
Alright. Another review real quick.
671 712. 671 712.
Mine's after
Still.
ours, we got to switch over to this. So we'll do this one and then they can switch over to this for her.
That sounds good.
I got Jaguar.
Got 4 more people I'm waiting on.
Why do I have to be sad, Jen? I gave the charge.
Louis for it.
2 more people. Who am I waiting on?
Well, Louis carded.
Let's go. Kylan, come on. Am I waiting on you?
I'm already on.
There we go. 10. Perfect.
I don't have to.
Alright, everybody know how to do crypto hack?
Yeah.
So listen
Alright,
carefully.
so let's listen carefully. You're gonna choose a password. It'll pop up on your screen. Alright? You have to answer the questions. In order to guess somebody else's password, you have to answer the question correctly. Right? All of the questions are the same. It's a variety of 36 different questions, I think. And they're all about main idea. So pick your password. It's coming up on your screen. Yep, you gotta pick your password, so make sure nobody sees it. You don't want other people to see your password, alright? Because they can hack you and steal all your coins.
Can I go somewhere else?
No, just hurry up.
If I turn it down.
No, he's not looking. You're good. All you gotta do is turn it.
I got it. Why? I got a good password.
Alright,
Why? I got a good.
keep going.
Why did I do
There you go. Now you answer the question. Right there, did you see the speaker that's on left?
I got
Some of them need that.
I got first place.
Only for those that need it, you get to use that.
So for those that go out, those should be the ones using it. Let's I guess. Hold on. I don't know what that is.
Hey, let's go. I'm in 6th place.
Alright, keep going, because people can steal your gold on this one. Or your coins, your money.
These are.
Yep. This coin's not what you have to do. Keep going, it's okay.
yourself is, what is this all
So it's saying,
about?
what is it about?
So that's the
Many
supporting
holidays are
detail.
celebrated.
Sometimes they're giving you a supporting detail, other times they're giving you the main idea. So what would be the main idea for that supporting
Things to
detail?
do at the beach, or Victory Butterfly Moments.
Good job.
So you got 50 for read. So you're finding the main idea about that short little blurb or passage.
What is the whole passage?
Hey, let's go. Catch you up. No, I didn't press that. I didn't even press that. He's on yes! I just got what is this? What? Hey.
Oh, somebody have to, so you have to bring it up to 80%.
I guess
To go back to the question.
So Connor, you need to think in your head, what is the whole,
I'm not ready.
what is the whole thing about?
No.
So many holidays are celebrated in the United States. Which sentence is talking about holidays?
Dragon shape.
I don't know. You gotta keep.
Dragon shape me.
You can use this right here.
Dragon
You have
shape
the
me.
combination.
That is me.
Use the speaker. You wanna hear the speaker? You wanna hear it speak to you? So you have to turn it up.
Many holidays are celebrated in the United States. The Victory Butterfly celebrated on
So which one was talking about a holiday? There it is. See?
the main idea is that
Alright, keep going.
Let's go, hack. I'm hack.
You wanna come right here and read? Have this feeling to turn it off.
This is about ice cream. I just
You want headphones?
You want your headphones?
Easy. Yes.
Who's saying Jen? Come up here and get these skins.
Can we play chess now?
Who is a spell writer?
Me.
Come on. And Storm Weaver.
Me.
You three come get these candies. Does this help with understanding what main idea is?
Yeah, that was easy.
You're just finding what the story or the passage is mainly about. The sentence, what it's mainly about. Yes.
Can we do chess now?
No, now we are going to actually switch shifts and we're going to go into math.
Cool.
No math. I'm sorry. So if you guys will close up your computers. You can put this over there and find next time. No, we're not switching, but we're switching tasks in this
Now, the
classroom.
kids that go out and don't do,
There we go. I am recording, just as FYI for you guys. I've done it in this class before, so it's nothing new. Just not in this class. All right. So, me and Miss Bowers decided that you guys needed a review on main idea, because a lot of you are forgetting what it is about, okay? So I want you to take out your boards, grab the eraser and your marker. You guys are with a partner, so you guys need to discuss the answer kind of real quick before you write anything down, all right? I want you to write down on your board what you think main idea is. What is the main idea? What is a main idea? You got 30 seconds. What is the main idea? Hold on, I'll tell you to put the board up in just a second.
No, we'll write it on the board.
you write it on the board. Discuss with your partner. If you know, then whisper in his ears. What is the main idea? 10 seconds. All right, hold it up in 3, 2, 1. Hold up your boards. What the story is about. We think it is the plot. What about the story? What it's about? Something it talks about the most. Spelled most wrong. The main idea is the plot. The main idea is not the plot. The main idea is what the story is mainly about. Alright? The main idea is what the story is about. Or if you're reading your story, or if you're reading on the GMAS and it asks you about central idea and main idea are going to be the same thing. The plot involves the setting, the characters. I'm missing one. The setting, the characters. Girls,
The plot.
It's okay.
Setting the characters. The plot.
So the plot involves more than just what it's mainly about. It might be main idea. I can't think off the top of my head. But the plot is not just what the story is mainly about. It involves those characters and that setting. The main idea is just what it is mostly about. Okay? So you're looking at what the most important thing that is in that story or that small passage. The central idea, which also means main idea. So if you see a question on the GMAS next week that has something to do with central idea, it is talking about the main idea. Okay?
Okay.
It's going to be in a passage or a paragraph, and it can be stated or implied. Do you guys know what implied means? Raise your hand if you do. No. All right, so if something is implied, it means it's not just out there and it says, this is what it's about. You have to read the passage and figure it out. We're going to read a passage real quick, and I'll kind of explain to you what implied means that way, all right? Stated, it flat out tells you, hey, this story is about finding your true love, like getting this glass slipper and finding it, all right? If it's implied, it's not going to flat out say it, all right? So how, on your board, you got 30 seconds, give me at least one way on how you can find a main idea. You got 30 seconds. Give me one way how you can find a main idea. You gotta talk with your partner. Turn around and talk with your partner. What does he think? I'm sorry. Do you want a partner? No? Okay. You got left by yourself. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. How can you find a main idea? 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the boards up. Let me see. You can find the main idea by reading the book. What you got? By reading the story. Story. What? By reading the story.
The words.
By reading the story by the words.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what you mean.
I did it wrong.
Okay. Messiah and Jaden, what you got?
But you know what you mean.
You didn't have anything?
The kind of
You can find it by figuring out the who and the what of the passage. So who is the passage about? Who are they talking about? All right. Who's the most important character? And what's going on in that passage? All right. What are they talking about? You got to figure out the who and the what in order to figure out that main idea. All right. So what aspects are they talking about? What is the author concerned about? So now we are going to read a short passage. You can put your boards down for just a second. Alright, you guys read the passage with me. When I stop, you say the word, okay? Bats are known for
flying
around at night and
sleeping
during the day. You may have seen
pictures
a bat sleeping meaning upside down in
Cave.
Bats have daytime.
Resting places.
2, they sleep in,
Trees.
in,
Old buildings.
and even under.
Bridges.
More than 1 million bats sleep under one bridge in
Austin,
Texas. This colony or group contains about as many bats as there are
In the people in the city.
people in the city. All right, discuss with your partner. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Tell me if you can figure out the main idea of this passage, and then also tell me if it is stated or if it is implied. If there's a sentence that tells you this is what the main idea is, or if you had to figure it out by reading the passage alone. So I want, what is the main idea? And tell me if it's stated or implied. So 2 things.
How much time do we have?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Okay.
What is the main idea? Tell me if it is stated or tell me if it is implied. I like that you are writing a complete sentence.
Wait, implied means it's not there.
Yes, it is not there. It's something that you have to infer. You have to figure it out by reading the passage. Huh?
So implied is when you do have a baby.
S-T. T.
So it's when it's implied is when you do have to find it.
T. E. All right, 10.
Does implied means you do have to? Or it's not? You have to find it?
Yes. Everybody ready? Hold your boards up. Oh, hold on. I'll give you guys 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up. All right, so we've got, is it stated or implied? Implied, 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 stated and stated. The implieds have it. So what do you think the main idea is? Implied. Let me read that real quick. Hold your board up. The main idea is about the passage where the bats sleep. Okay, so talking about where the bats sleep is about bats. Hold that up. I can't. About bats sleeping where? I can't read it. It's sloppy. About bats sleeping. The handwriting is. And it's about bats. So it is about bats, but what is it talking about bats doing?
Sleeping.
It's talking about different places that bats sleep. Alright? Does in the passage anywhere it say this is about bats sleeping in different areas?
No. Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Where?
When it's like caves and all buildings.
But that doesn't say it's about bats sleeping in different areas. It gives you a list of the places that they sleep. So that is how it is implied. So it's not directly stated. It doesn't say this is about bats sleeping in a whole bunch of different places. It says that bats sleep. They have resting time. Bats have other daytime resting places too. They sleep in trees, old buildings, and even under bridges. So it gives you different places that they sleep, but it doesn't tell you, doesn't directly say this is about bats sleeping in different places. You see the difference between stated and implied now?
Yeah. Yes.
Alright, so we got one more passage, and then we're going to play a game. Smartphones are that are used for more than making calls and people on them for getting
Directions.
and finding information on the
Internet.
People also have fun listening to
Music.
taking
Pictures.
and
Playing games.
on their phone. On the other hand,
Smartphone.
have some downsides. They can make it hard to
Keep your mind on important stuff.
keep in mind keep your mind on important things like
Studying.
Some people even
Text.
during
Meals.
or when spending time with their
Family.
Driving while using phones puts people in
Danger.
Smartphones are
Useful.
but they can also cause
Problems.
if not used safely and
Politely.
Alright, so same two things.
Okay.
Tell me, is it stated or is it implied? And tell me what the passage is about. What is the main idea of this passage?
Okay, I'm trying to take it out.
Discuss with your partner. You got 30 seconds.
Okay, we got 30 seconds. Okay, Jakira, right while we talk. Okay?
Right while we talk.
Wait, this ain't my pencil.
It was on the floor in front of you. Nakai, is this your pencil?
Wait.
It was on the floor.
Wait, okay, so first up. That's wait, so the main, alright. Wait, that was it's about the story. Girl, not the main. What? Girl, we're not doing that. Oh, yeah. Girl, there's no what the story is about. Yeah. Or you and have to be careful. The things that say what we think it will.
10,
I need 4 more seconds.
9, 8,
And I think it's
7,
what you think it is.
6,
I don't think
5, 4,
Wait.
3,
Okay, we
2, 1. Raise your hand if you think it is stated. Right? Raise your hand if you think it is implied. Marianne, you did not answer. You didn't answer. Is it stated or implied?
Stated.
Stated? You guys raise your hand for both. Is it stated or implied? Implied? Alright, those that said stated, what did you put? Because it only talks about smartphones. Now, if it's stated, it's going to say in the passage exactly what it's about. The story is about smartphones, puts you in danger. The story is about smartphones used over time. So, it is stated. When a message is stated, most of the time it is going to be at that beginning of the passage or at the very end of the passage. In this case, it's at the very end. It says the passage is mainly about smartphones are useful, but they can cause problems if not used safely and politely. Alright? That is the main idea of the story. It is talking about different ways that smartphones are useful, but also says how they are dangerous. Which is why this last sentence is the main idea. Does everybody see that? You can put it down. So if it directly says it like it does in here in this passage, what did I do to your board?
Press the X at the top.
There we go. Alright. If it directly states it like it does in this passage, it is stated. Alright? Does anybody have any questions about that?
No.
Alright. Erase your boards, put them in your baggies, open up your Chromebooks, and go to Blooking.
And you can't see what's on my She's okay,
I'll get them in just a minute. Alright, these are going to have short little passages. Some of them are a little bit longer, but they're going to have passages that you have to read and you are just finding the main idea. The individual, you want her to see your passcode? It's Crypto Hat. Yeah, you want her to see your passcode?
Yeah, they're gonna work together.
y'all.
That's me. I'm ready. I'm a girl. Yeah, I'm a black unicorn. I'm Rudolph. No, wait, too much characters. I have a lot of characters. Well, I need to read this song.
Wait for 3 more people.
Yeah, your name is Rudolph. Unicorn. There's only 8 players.
You're born.
I don't got no 8 players.
One more person. There we go. Alright, everybody knows how to play Crypto Hat, right? No? Alright, then I'll go over the directions. Alright, y'all pick your passwords. Pick your passwords and then start answering the questions. Read the passage, defining the main idea. What is the little sentence mainly about? What is it mostly about? You're welcome.
Yes. I'm in second. I'm in first.
Alright, you got candy.
She's a cheater. It's not fair.
Alright, raise your hand if you got first. Second, third.
I got second.
Why you raise your hand for everything? Don't raise your hand unless you got it. First and second.
I got second.
You got second? I thought you got second.
No, I got first. I got third.
Oh, okay. Sorry, horrible at throwing candy. Alright, there's also,
Can I eat it?
ask Ms. Cope.
I don't know.
In your Google Classroom, there is a Kahoot quiz over main idea. Alright, you can also do that to practice. But now, we're not doing another one. I'm gonna hand you back over to Ms. Cope. Yep. It was just a quick review to refresh the memory on what main idea is, that's all.
I forgot what main
Yeah, that's why we just did that.
I got what?
But you can go into your Google Classroom and I assigned a Kahoot quiz that is also over main idea to help you as well. Alright, that will be there all week long. As long as Ms. Cope says it's okay. Otherwise, you need to be doing your math worksheet now. Alright, does anybody have any questions before I head out? Nope.
Do me a favor. Can you ask what Darius where this is?
He's not in there. He's in Bishop.
Okay.
Oh, wow.